I'm here with Mairghread Scott, Batman on Film, Ryan Haas. What kind of process did you have to do to adapt this into a screenplay?
Yeah, hi. So I'm the screenwriter for Wonder Woman BLOODLINES, and this was a really finely tuned project. I wanted this to be a film that could stand on its own. We knew it had to line up in continuity with the other animated films. I wanted to make sure that if you'd only seen the live action film, this felt like not like a totally different character. And also, there was a lot of comics that I really loved that had Wonder Woman in them that I wanted to kind of spread those stories out. So just a lot of brainstorming, a lot of picking and choosing, and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
Awesome. So were there moments that you got to put in the screenplay that you were really happy to make focal points?
Yeah. Oh my God. There's a really fun one early on in the film where Wonder Woman is brought to man's world, and because she's new to it, they decide to Steve Trevor and the government decide that they're going to have her stay with an archaeologist because that's someone who's familiar with her world. Mm-hmm. And so there's a scene of the archaeologist and her daughter Vanessa trying to get the house ready because a literal princess is coming. And there's a great moment where Wonder Woman walks in and she sees the daughter Vanessa has a broom that she's sweeping up with, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'll help." And I just thought that was such a great little moment of that's who Diana is. And she's like, "Oh, we're cleaning. Okay, cool. I'll help out." And of course Vanessa's mom is like, "You can't have the princess help clean the house."
That's the thing. So you've written a lot, but you've written Batgirl, the Batgirl comic book, and you've written episodes of Justice League Action and stuff. How is it different adapting something for those mediums versus a movie like this?
Well, you definitely have a lot more space to breathe in an animated film, and there's a lot more dialogue, honestly, so there's a lot more talking, and we can really sort of dig down into the feelings a little bit more than in some of my comics work, especially because my comics work tends to be very insular, from the main character's point of view, and so that was really interesting. Also, I kind of got a little bit of a second bite at the apple because I did a short comic for the Wonder Woman 75th annual where she fights Giganta, and I had to cut so much out for time, and then I got to write this movie and I was like, can she fight Giganta again? Because I have some ideas. And they let me, so I was very excited.
So last question, since we're our Batman on Film, are there any major Batman things that you'd like to kind of tackle in a story someday?
Oh, gosh, Batman does a lot of cool things. I guess I always thought his relationship with Talia, especially because she really violated him.
It's an understatement.
Yeah, I always wanted to give him a little more room to process that trauma. And what happens when a kid shows up on your doorstep and that kid's an innocent, he's not involved, but he's a messed up kid, and it's and that kid's the product of something terrible that happened to you, and a loss of control for a character that is completely about
that's him.
Control. Yeah. And so I always thought that was such an interesting wound to poke at, which I would love to poke at because I'm a bad person, and that's why I write comics.
Well, Batman is trauma. He takes the trauma and he turns it into something. So that's fantastic. So I can't wait to see Wonder Woman BLOODLINES. So is there anything that you hope, major thing that you hope people take away from the film?
I wanted to show that having ideals and living up to your ideals are not the same thing, and that it's a lot harder when the rubber meets the road to do the right thing, and how heroic that really is. I think a lot of people dismiss, characters who aren't emotionally traumatized, which, we all love emotional trauma, but characters who just do the right thing because of their own inner moral compass. And I wanted to show that, that's really difficult. There's a whole kind of drama in that itself. So I really hope that comes through in our film.
Well, I definitely can't wait to see it, and hopefully we can discuss it later once it comes out. So thank you. Appreciate it so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.